I want to talk about this bizarre interview that Marjorie Taylor Greene did, where she's sitting in front of the weirdest wall that has some odd paintings on it. That's just random, but noticed it. And talk about a few different moments here that were particularly noteworthy. The first is she said, "We have a better chance of overturning gay marriage in the Supreme Court than we do in Congress," indicating that would be an ambition, as I'm sure you guys would expect, but definitely concerning that this is being floated.
Marjorie, thank you for all you do. So we're all elated over the Dobbs decision and abortion being turned back to the states and no constitutional right to abortion. But just as toxic to the culture was the overturning decision that claimed marriage could be between someone other than one man and one woman. What are our chances of getting that one overturned?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
What are our chances of getting that one overturned? Obergefell. Clarence Thomas hinted that that might be up next, or at least the court might decision.
I think we have a better chance on the Supreme Court right now, like we had with the Dobbs case, and we saw Roe versus Wade get overturned. I think we have a better chance there with the balance on the Supreme Court as it stands right now than we do in Congress. Now, we know that the Bible tells us that marriage is a covenant between man and woman. That's what marriage is. But do I see anything happening legislatively in Congress anytime soon on that issue? I don't, right at this time.
So she rightly identifies that Congress is not going to do that, but she makes it clear that she has the ambition to overturn or see gay marriage be overturned. Interesting. And then also, again, not understanding the difference between your religious beliefs and the view of the government, saying that, the Bible tells us that marriage is between a man and a woman. But we're not talking about the Bible. Okay, in your church you can believe that, but whenever you have some sort of legal code or a governmental, societal basis for making these decisions, that can't be based on your one Bible, because then how do you govern a nation whenever it's under one religion? And as we talked about so much, that was the ambition of the founding fathers. With all their flaws, one of the very good ideas that they had that have been also modeled in other countries as well is the separation of church and state. And that's how you get a good, stable society where people aren't oppressing others on the basis of religion like they could. The next moment from this same interview is when she talks about how she called Nancy Pelosi the B word. A congresswoman calling the Speaker of the House a female dog. Take a look.
Is when I won my election, I think I really upset Nancy Pelosi because I'll tell you why. I gave a little speech when I won my race, and I said, talking about Nancy Pelosi, I said, "We're going to kick that bitch out of Congress." About the
and it got quite the applause there. That's something that didn't even surprise me. That's how far American politics has gone down the toilet hole. And then again, explaining so clearly how little she understands about green energy.
He's not propping up American oil and gas.
And apologies, this is from a different event that I grabbed from. We have 3 different events to look at, crammed into one, but mostly from that one interview.
No, he thinks wind turbines are the way to go. I mean, what's he going to do when it's not a windy day? He's going to stand out there and blow hot air at all the wind turbines? Because that's basically what he does. It's not going to deliver the energy.
Okay, so this is something she said similar things a lot to that effect. And it's a little bit sad because she thinks that wind energy is only when the wind turbines are spinning. That's the only time that the house or structure or whatever you're getting the energy for can be used. And it's a similar thing, do you think that the only time a house can be powered by solar panels is when the sun's actually shining? No. Obviously there's battery power, right? That's an easy thing I feel like to intuitively come to the conclusion of. And so yes, whenever it's windy, you store the energy, and when it's not windy, you use the energy, and you can be using it while it's, windy as well. And same thing with solar power. I have a place at the home I grew up at that is fully powered by solar panels. And there's been times where I was in there super late into the night and it used like a single digit percentage of the amount of battery power it had stored up, and I had everything on, and it still didn't use that much of the energy that it had stored up throughout the day. So it's a similar thing with wind energy. And I think maybe a lot of the right's opposition to this is just because they misunderstand how it works, which is a little bit sad. And then here is her talking a little bit about Herschel Walker and his son, Christian Walker.
With Herschel Walker, I'm a mom, and so here's the way I see it. My heart is for seeing Christian Walker and Herschel Walker mend that relationship. That is number one, and I'm praying for them, and it's so important because that parent-child relationship to me is everything. That's my mother's heart speaking. Number two, Georgia, we have got to get Raphael Warnock out of the Senate. But with Herschel.
So, revealing that she has continued support for the man who did what they all claim is murder. But I guess we don't really care when we're going to elect murderers from their perspective on abortion into a position of power. Okay. And saying that she does want to see Herschel Walker mend his relationship with Christian Walker. Well, but could you talk about the substance of what Christian Walker has, damaged the relationship with his father because of, which is him claiming he's a massive liar? All right, we're not going to address that. We're just going to say we want to see them hug one another one day. And then a moment from one of a recent rally, it looks like a Trump rally, where she fearmongers about immigrants to a dangerous degree.
Joe Biden's 5 million illegal aliens are on the verge of replacing you. Replacing your jobs and replacing your kids in school. And coming from all over the world, they're also replacing your culture. And that's not great for America.
So saying that immigrants are coming to replace you, that is what we saw get people killed. A man going and shooting up a store because he believed in the Great Replacement theory. And watching that happen doesn't even slow her down one moment. Watching that very theory get people killed doesn't slow her down at all and doesn't make her question the rhetoric that she's spreading. And just from a logical perspective, I've never understood the theory, even though I understand the dangerous aspects of it. I also just don't understand from a simple level what that even means. Someone coming to the country, pursuing a better life, becoming a part of our community, paying taxes into our systems and all those things. How is that replacing you? That doesn't make any sense. That's like saying, my parents had another kid and I got replaced. No, you had a brother. There's just another person there. You're not replaced by them. But then also, as we talked about in a segment about Tucker Carlson, immigrants, even undocumented immigrants, pay more in taxes than they get back in government services. And so, whereas many American citizens, or I should say many citizens, American citizens get back more from the government if they utilize a number of different government programs than they actually pay out in taxes. Immigrants, because they don't have access to those programs, pay more in taxes than they ever are going to take back from the government. So the fear-mongering about they're coming and they're devastating our communities and sucking money out of them is the opposite. They're paying more into our system than they're getting out and actually making the tax burden on you and I less. Not to mention all of the beautiful, as she mentioned, cultural, in a negative sense, I'm saying cultural diversity that they bring, that it has made America as rich as it is. And so very scary stuff there. More people are going to get hurt because of her and others like her rhetoric, and it's devastating to see.